we're going on a road trip on US 62. Let's go! Alright, today we're doing another cross-country highway, US Highway 62. This highway is also a diagonal highway like US 52, and it actually intersects US 52. US 62 also goes through some beautiful scenery like here in the Ozark Mountains and along the beautiful parts of Pennsylvania. It is also the only US highway to connect the country of Mexico to the country of Canada. So let's get started with US 62. If you've been enjoying my highways content or any of my other content, please like and subscribe, as I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers for a special video that I'm going to be doing soon. So please like and subscribe. I appreciate it a lot. Now, as you can see here, US 62 begins at down here in El Paso, Texas, traveling to the states of New Mexico and re-entering into Texas, and then going through Oklahoma, going through Arkansas, Missouri, part of Illinois, mostly Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and finally ending just north of Buffalo in Niagara Falls, New York. With that, we're going to be talking about northbound US 62. So US 62 begins here at a junction with US 85 down here in El Paso, Texas. And right away, we also get a reassurance shield if you stay straight on this road, you'll be on US 62. And our first major intersection on US 62 is Loop Highway 375, and we only get a left exit for 375 East, while 62 is just signed for Pasino Drive. Here you are meeting the hidden designation of Interstate 110. And here are meeting US Highway 54, and US 62 is going to continue straight from here, while 54 takes you to other famous places. We also meet Loop Highway 375 once again. Here I mean Interstate 10, where if you get onto 10 West, you can get to New Mexico and places in Phoenix and Los Angeles. Or you can take Interstate 10 East to head through the 870 miles of Texas. Here are meeting US 180, and 180 is actually going to be joining with us for the rest of the distance as we are in far western Texas. And after we leave the El Paso area, we get our first mileage sign, and Carlsbad is actually in New Mexico, which is 64 miles away from here. Here we are entering into the state of New Mexico, but we don't get a New Mexico welcome sign, we just get to welcome to District 2. Wonder what District 2 is. Are we in the Hunger Games already? Here in Carlsbad, New Mexico, we're meeting US Highway 285 and 285 and 62 and 180, I believe, are all going to be concurrent with each other as we head through Carlsbad. Here are splitting off from 285, and 62 and 180 are going to be heading east back into Texas. And here you get another mileage sign, and this time we only get the town of Hobbs, which is 37 miles away. Here we are in the town of Hobbs, and we have a mile marker saying that this is roughly mile 100 of US 62. Here we are entering back into the state of Texas, and we have a Texas state line and this Exxon gas station in case you need to stop and get some gas or some snacks. Here in the town of Seminole, Texas, we're meeting US 385, and 62 is going to be joining with 385 to head northeast of here. And then here in mileage sign in Seagraves, Texas, we have Brownfield at the bottom line, which is 22 miles away. Here's US 62 splitting off from 385 to join US 82 here in Brownfield, Texas. And now we have another mileage sign, and Lubbock is 38 miles away, and we're going to be concurrent with 82 all the way up to Lubbock. Here's our first time that we're entering into the city of Lubbock. We have a sort of a freeway here, and our first exit is Loop Highway 289. And here's US 62 splitting off from US 82, as US 62 is going to be taking a different route through the city. He's going to be concurrent with Texas Highway 114. And it looks like there's also a laundry list of exits for US 82, and it's Texas Tech Parkway and University Avenue, because Texas Tech is in Lubbock. Here are meeting the southern end of Interstate 27 and US 87. And on 27 and 87 itself, US 62 is signed for Level Land and Florida. Here we are reuniting with US 82 as 62 and 82 and Texas 114 are going towards Florida and Crosbytown. Here in Rawls, Texas, we're leaving US 82 to head towards Florida. And here in Florida, we're meeting US 70, and 70 and 62 are concurrent with each other, along with Texas Highway 207. And after we pass through Florida, we have another mileage sign, and Paducah, Texas is listed at 32 miles away. Paducah, Kentucky, the one that everyone knows, is like far away from here. Corwell is 68 miles away. Here are in Paducah, and we're going to be leaving US 70 and joining US 83 for a short time. Here in Childress, Texas, we're meeting US 287 and 83 and 62 are continuing north of here. Here's US 62 splitting off from US 83 to head east into Oklahoma. And our first mileage sign after splitting off from 83, both Polis and Altus are in Oklahoma. Polis is 16 miles away, while Altus is 51. And here we are entering the state of Oklahoma with Oklahoma's typical welcome to Oklahoma sound. And here in Altus, we're meeting US 283, and we're just meeting, we're going to be staying straight here, and we're not going to be joining US 283. And here are meeting 183, and 183 is signed for Snyder and Frederick. And after passing by US 183, we have another mileage sign, and Lawton is on the bottom line at 31 miles away. Here are in Lawton, and we're meeting Interstate 44, US 277, and US 281. You're actually going to be joining 44 East, 277 North, and 281 North, and concurrent with those highways for a brief time. On Interstate 44, 62, 277, and 281 all split off from 44 that head north to Elgin, Apache, and Anadarko, while 44 is going to be heading east to Chickasaw and Oklahoma City. Here's US 277 splitting off from 281 and 62. And after that, we have another mileage sign, and Anadarko is 27 miles away. Here's US 281 splitting off from US 62. And 162 is by itself once again. We have another mileage sign. US 81 Junction is 18 miles away, while Chickasaw is 20. Here on the outskirts of Chickasaw, we're meeting US 81, and US 62 and 81 are going to be concurrent as we head through the city of Chickasaw. Here in Chickasaw, US 81 and 277, or 81 is going to be leaving to join 277 South, while 277 North is going to be joining US 62. Here are meeting Interstate 44 once again, and 44 is signed west for Lawton, while 44 east, I'm guessing, is signed for Oklahoma City. Here I'm meeting the spur of the H.A. Bailey Turnpike, and it's also signed as Oklahoma Highway 4. Also, since it's a spur route, why not consider doing it Interstate 144? I don't know. You can debate me on that. And then here are meeting the actual H.E. Bailey Turnpike. We're going to be joining with Interstate 44 East, and we're signed for Oklahoma City, which is absolutely correct. Here you are splitting off from Interstate 44 to join Interstate 240. We're going to be concurrent with 240, and we're heading east to Fort Smith. And here are joining Interstate 35, and 62 is going to be concurrent with 35 as it heads north to Wichita, which is absolutely correct. And here's US 62 splitting off from Interstate 35, and we're just signed east for Northeast 23rd Street. I wonder why there's no Control City there. And here are meeting the Kickapoo Turnpike here in far eastern Oklahoma City, and US 62 is going to continue east of here. On the Kickapoo Turnpike, we're signed east for Hurrah. And here in the middle of nowhere, we're meeting US 177, and 62 is going to continue east from here heading into eastern Oklahoma. And on our next mileage sign, we have Henrietta on the bottom line, which is 89 miles away. And on our way to Henrietta, we enter the town of Frog, and here in Frog, we're leaving US 377 and Oklahoma Highway 99. Here we are in Oklahoma, or Interstate 40, which is signed eastward Fort Smith and westward Oklahoma City. Here are splitting off from Interstate 40. We're going to be joining with US Highway 75, and we're signed northeast for Henrietta and Okmulgee. Here is US 62 splitting off from US 75 here in Okmulgee, Oklahoma, as US 62 heads to Muskogee, Oklahoma. And on our way to Muskogee, we have a mileage sign, and Muskogee is mentioned at 43 miles away. Here are meeting US 64 and 64 and 62 are meeting currently with each other as we head toward Muskogee. Here in Muskogee, we're meeting US Highway 69 and 62 is actually making currently with North 69, while 64 is going to be currently with South 69. And 62 splits off from US 69 to head east, and here we are meeting the Muskogee Turnpike. And on the Muskogee Turnpike itself, US 62 is signed east for Fort Gibson and Tahlequah. And here are crossing over a not so good looking bridge over a river. And here are meeting US Highway 59, and 62 is going to continue east of here into the state of Arkansas. We are entering the state of Arkansas. Arkansas welcomes you. And right when we get into Arkansas, we have a mileage sign, and Fayetteville is listed on the bottom line at 23 miles away, which is absolutely correct. Here are meeting Interstate 49, and 49 and 62 are going to current with each other for a brief while. Here are meeting US Highway 412, and guess what US 412 is? Hey, I know this highway. US 412 is 1,130 miles long. It is the longest child of US Highway 12. Yes, it is roughly 200 miles longer than US Highway 212. It travels from New Mexico all the way to Interstate 65 in Tennessee. It starts at exit 412 on Interstate 25 in New Mexico. I'm guessing that's why it's called 412 instead of something else. Some major intersections on US 412 include US 67, a concurrency with US 62 and US 64, intersection with 60, 65, US 71, Interstate 25, Interstate 44, Interstate 35, Interstate 49, it ends at Interstate 65, and intersects Interstate 444. That's a little bit about US 412, and let's get back to US 62. Here is US 62 splitting off from Interstate 49, and it has no control city once again. Instead, we just get 14th Street and Hudson Road. And here on Arkansas Highway 12, US 62 is signed east for Eureka Springs. Here are entering into the Ozarks Mountain, which looks absolutely beautiful. This is like sometime in the summer, but I bet it's beautiful in the fall. Here in Eureka Springs, we have another mileage sign, and Harrison is 41 miles away. And on our way to Harrison, we actually meet Arkansas Highway 187, which takes you to the Dam Site Park and Starkey Park. It also takes you to the Ozarks Mountain Zipline place. If everyone likes zipline, then this road is for you. Here are meeting US Highway 412, and 412 and 62 are going to be concurrent with each other for basically most of the way in Arkansas. And here are joining US Highway 65, and 65 and 412 and 62 are going to be concurrent with each other as we head through the town of Harrison. Here is 62 and 412 splitting off from 65 here in Harrison. And we have another mileage sign after we leave Harrison. Mountain Home is on the bottom line at 45 miles away. And please excuse my language, but we're actually meeting Flippin, Arkansas here on our way to Mountain Home. And here in Mountain Home, we're meeting Arkansas Highway 5, which is, I'm guessing, a very important route here in Arkansas. And after we pass by Arkansas Highway 5, we have another mileage sign, and Ash Flat is on the bottom line at 50 miles away. Here in Ash Flat, Arkansas, we're meeting US 167, and I think we're going to be here with 167 north towards Hardy. And here are meeting US Highway 63, and 63 and 62 are going to be current as we head towards Imboden and Moxie. Here we are splitting off from 63 and 412, and 62 is going to be by itself as we head through the rest of Arkansas. Here in Pocahontas, we're meeting US Highway 67, and 67 and 62 are going to be current as we head through the town. Here is 62 splitting off from 67, and 62 is now signed for Pigot. Here in Pigot, we're meeting Arkansas Highway 1 and the northern end of US Highway 49. And shortly after, we have another mileage sign, and Maiden, Missouri is our bottom line at 20 miles away, because there's not much left of Arkansas. And here are entering into the state of Missouri. Here in Missouri, we're meeting US Highway 61, and 62 and 61 are concurrent with each other. Here are meeting Interstate 55 at like a totally boring interchange. There's like literally nothing around here. And we pass through a small town and meet Interstate 55 once again. The reason is because 62 and 61 actually carry the business Route 55 through, I believe it's Madrid, Missouri. Here we are in Sykeston, and we meet US Highway 60, and 60 is signed west for Dexter and east for Charleston, Missouri. Here is US 62 splitting off from 61, and 62 is going to continue east from here. And here are meeting Interstate 55 once again, and this time we have a more developed interchange. Here are meeting Interstate 57, and once again it's undeveloped. As you can see, there's like nothing around here. Also, they're working on this interchange. And here are crossing over the Mississippi into the state of Illinois. And here are descending down that bridge into Cario. And here in Cario, we're going to be joining with US 60 and US 51. And 60, 51, and 62 are all going to be heading into Kentucky with each other. Here we are crossing into Kentucky. As you can see this Kentucky sign here. And here are in Kentucky, and 62 and 51 are going to be concurrent with each other as 60 leaves to head northeast of here. And here is US 62 splitting off from US 51, and we're now signed north for Clifton. And on a mileage sign, we just get Paducah, which is 29 miles away. Here in Paducah, we're meeting Interstate 24. And here are meeting US 45 still in Paducah, and 62 is and 45 is actually going to be concurrent with 62 for a while. Here is US 45 splitting off from US 60 is now going to be joining US 62 for a brief time. Here is US 60 splitting off from 62, and 62 is just going to be by itself once again. And in this part of Kentucky, US 62 actually parallels Interstate 24. Here are meeting Interstate 69 and Interstate 24 once again. And for the second time on this channel, we're meeting US Highway 641, and 641 is going to be concurrent with US 62. This is on Interstate 24 and 69, and 62 and 641 are signed for Eddyville and Cutwa. And here's US 641 splitting off from US 62, as US 62 is going to continue northeast of here. Here is US 62 just meeting Interstate 69 by itself. And now we're paralleling Interstate 69 for a brief time. Here I'm meeting US 41 at this 4-way stop, and Control City Free Catch just made a northbound US Highway 41 video, so I'd recommend if you go check that out. Here I'm meeting Interstate 169, and fun fact about 169, that was actually signed into law by President Trump, and the reason that there's no signs up as yet is not because of political reasons. It's actually because the Pennyville Parkway is not up to interstate standards yet. Once they finish converting it to interstate standards, I believe it's like one bridge or something, then 169 will be signed. Here is US 62 splitting off from US 231, and 62 is going to continue east from here. Here we have no access to Interstate 165, which is actually signed this time. Here are meeting US Highway 31W, and it takes us into Interstate 65. Here are meeting Interstate 65 itself in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. US 31E, and 31E and 62 are going to be concurrent as we head through the city. And here I just demonstrate my wonderful drawing skills once again, and we're at another roundabout, like in the 64 video, and this time 150 and 62 are going to be concurrent as we head east from the roundabout, and 31E is going to be joining with US 150 West as it heads north of this roundabout. Sadly, there is nothing important for the south of the roundabout or 3rd Street. Here is US 150 splitting off from US 62, and US 62 is going to continue east towards US 68 and other important highways. Here are meeting US 127 in Warrensburg, Kentucky. And we're now meeting US 60 once again in this town, and we actually just have a short concurrency as 62 just splits off from US 60. Here are meeting US Highway 421 once again, and 62 and 421 are going to be concurrent with each other as we head through Midway, Kentucky. So here is US 62 splitting off from US 421 as 62 is going to continue north to Interstate 64, and after meeting Interstate 64, here are meeting US Highway 460, and 460 and 62 are going to be joining with each other. And here are meeting US 25 in Georgetown, Kentucky. And still in Georgetown, US 460 is splitting off from US 62, and it's going to be heading towards Interstate 75 south, while eastbound 62 for Interstate 75 north, because apparently 460 has no access to Interstate 75 south. Here are meeting Interstate 75 still in Georgetown, and US 62 is going to continue northeast from here as we leave Georgetown. On our way to our next town, we meet this Kimbrough Her House, which is apparently in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky. And the funny thing about this, I was actually reading the reviews, and some guy posted 1 star like, I don't know what this house is. I thought it was just funny. Here is US 27, and 27 and 62 are going to be bypassing the city of Cynthiana. Here is US 62 splitting off from US 27, and 62 is going to continue east to places north of here. Here we have no access to US Highway 68, we're just crossing over it. And after we pass through a small town on the Ohio River, we're actually crossing over the Ohio River into the state of Ohio, and guess what highway we're meeting on the other side? US 52! Woo! 52 and 62 are going to be concurrent with each other as we head towards US 68. And here's US 62 and US 68 splitting off from US 52 to head northeast of here. And our first mileage sign in like forever, we have Hillsborough on the bottom line, which is 37 miles away. And here is just 62 splitting off from US 68, and we're signed for Russellville. I wonder what happened to Hillsborough. We're in Hillsborough, we're meeting US Highway 50, and we're just going to be heading straight because we have no concurrence with US 50. Here in Washington Courthouse, yes, three separate words, Washington Courthouse, we're meeting the freeway of US 35, and 35 has no control cities, instead we just get east and west 35. Still in Washington Courthouse, we're actually meeting US Highway 22, and 22 and 62 are going to be concurrent with each other for a small time as we head through the city of Washington Courthouse. Here's US 22 splitting off from US 62, and 62 is going to continue northeast of here towards Columbus. On the outskirts of Columbus, we're meeting Interstate Highway 71, and we get no control cities for 71. Here are meeting Interstate 270, the Beltway loop around Columbus, and I've actually been on Interstate 270. Me and my family took it to bypass the city of Columbus on our way home from visiting family on our 2018 road trip to and from Chicago. Here are in downtown Columbus, and we're actually be joining with US Highway 40, and 40 and 62 are to meet her as we head through downtown Columbus. Here's US 62 splitting off from US 40, and 62 is going to continue northeast of here to head towards Canton and Youngstown. Here are meeting Interstate 670, and 62 is actually going to be joining Interstate 670. And at the end of 670, we meet Interstate 270, and 62 has its own exit for Gahanna, while 270 gets no control cities. Here we are having no access to US Highway 36, but you can indirectly get to US 36 by some back roads. Here are in Wilmot, Ohio, we're meeting US Highway 250, and like in US 220, 250 and 62 are going to be having a short concurrency as we head through Wilmot. And here is US 62 splitting off from 250, and 62 continues northeast of here to head towards Canton and Youngstown. Our first interchange request of the video, Matt Weber actually wanted to see the junction of US Highway 30 and US 62, since he actually lives off of US 30, not somewhere in the area, but off of US 30 in general. So thanks to him for suggesting this intersection. Also, I was still gonna show it anyways because US 30 is a major highway. And 30 and 62 are going to be heading east towards Canton. Here is US 62 spinning off from US 30 and joining Interstate 77. And now we're signed northeast for Akron, while 77 gets no comment. Here is US 62 splitting off from Interstate 77, and then now signed east for Alliance. On our way to Alliance, this is in Canfield, and we're actually meeting US 224, which is actually the western end of Eastern 76. And sadly, we have no access to Interstate 76 Eastern as we head into Youngstown, Ohio. Here in Youngstown, we're actually meeting Interstate 680, and we immediately split off from Interstate 680 and to head into Pennsylvania. And here we're meeting Interstate 80, and 80 is correctly signed for New York, while 80 West is signed for Cleveland. And shortly after passing through Youngstown, we enter into the state of Pennsylvania. Let's see what Pennsylvania does with US Highway 62. So here in Sharon, we're meeting Pennsylvania Highway 18, the longest state highway here in Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania 18 South actually takes you to Interstate 80. In our first mileage sign in Pennsylvania, we have Franklin, which is 40 miles away, and Mercer, which is the next town over, 12 miles away, which I think is correct. Here in Mercer, we're meeting a whole bunch of different highways here. First of all, we're meeting US Highway 19, and 62 and 19 are meeting here with each other. We're also meeting Pennsylvania 258 and Pennsylvania 58. Apparently, what I've been told by Quarter Launch 437, this is sort of like the alignment of the East because of meeting a whole bunch of different highways here. And it also has the same amount of population as the city of Lyman, Colorado. And here is US 62 splitting off from US 19, and 19 is heading towards Meadville, while 62 is heading towards Franklin. Here we have another extra request. We have another interchange request, and this time it's by Cornermont 437. He wanted to see the junction of Interstate 79 and US 62. Well, I was originally going to show it, but I asked him if he wanted me to put his name on it, so he said yes. So thank you for indirectly suggesting this intersection. Here in Franklin, we're meeting US Highway 322 and 322 and 62 remain current as we head through downtown Franklin. Here is 62 splitting off from 322, and 62 and 8 are going to be heading towards Oil City, which is only 8 miles away. We are crossing over a branch of the Allegheny River onto the other side into the mountainous area of Pennsylvania. And once you're in Oil City, we're splitting off from Pennsylvania 8, and 62 is now signed east for Tionesta. Honestly, I don't agree with Tionesta. Tionesta is like a super small town with only like 400 or 500 people. And also, even though it does sit on the Allegheny River, it's still too small to be signed for a control city on a major US highway. Another intersection request, Pennsylvania 36, and this intersection was requested by Quartermont 437. He wanted to see where US 62 intersects Pennsylvania 36 here in Tionesta. So thank you for suggesting that intersection, and 62 is going to continue north of here towards Warren, Pennsylvania. On our way to Warren, we actually meet Pennsylvania 666. Here in Irvine, Pennsylvania, we meet US Highway 6, and 6 and 62 are going to be current as we head towards Warren. Here in Warren, 62 is splitting off from US 6 to head north into New York, and we're just time for a local stop. Shortly after leaving US Highway 6, US 62 enters our last state of the video, New York. Here in New York, our first major intersection is Interstate 86, and 86 is signed east for Binghamton, while 86 west is signed for Kennedy. What? That should be Erie, because of Interstate 90 there. Not Kennedy. I didn't even know where Kennedy is. Here we're at a random junction, and US 62 is now signed north for Cherry Creek, which is 12 miles away. And here in Cherry Creek, we're leaving from New York Highway 83, and 62 is now signed for Buffalo, which is correct. Here in Buffalo, we have no access to Interstate 90 itself, sadly. And for our last intersection request of the video, it was made by an Intimidator 305 enthusiast. He wanted to see where US 20 intersects US 62 and here in Buffalo. So thank you for suggesting this intersection. And again, I was going to show it anyways, but he wanted to see it. So thank you again for suggesting this intersection. Here are our main Interstate 190, we're passing right under it, but I believe at that next stoplight, or next couple of stoplights, you have indirect access to Interstate 190. In fact, at this junction here, New York Highway 354, it takes you straight to Interstate 190. Here are our main New York Highway 33, and we have, again, indirect access to it. You have to take back streets to get to New York Highway 33. Here I mean Interstate 290 just south of Niagara Falls, and 62 is going to continue north towards Niagara Falls. And once we get into Niagara Falls, we get a nice little US 62 sign at a junction here with New York Highway 104. With that, we end US 62 and move on to the places I'll go. So this one is going to be quite longer than my other ones I've done because those are shorter highways. This one is a cross-country highway. So there's going to be a lot of places that I'd like to visit on the highway. These are the places that I'd visit along US Highway 62 Northeastbound. First, I'll visit the city of El Paso, just to say I've been there. I'll visit official scenic historic markers in New Mexico, and then visit the town of Seminole, Texas, then the city of Lubbock. I'll next visit the town of Childress, and then the Love's Country Store in Hollis, New Mexico, and the city of Atlas, then the city of Lawton, and then Oklahoma City itself, then the city of Henrietta, the city of Muskogee, the city of Fayetteville, Arkansas, Blue Spring Heritage Center, Ozark Mountain Zip Lines, the city of Eureka Springs, the town of Flippin, Arkansas, the city of Mountain Home, Morgan's Mill, the town of Pigot, and then the city of Sikeston, Missouri, the southern point of Illinois, the Wycliffe Mountains Historic Site, the National Quilt Museum in Paducah, and then Paducah itself, the Mill Monroe Home Place, the city of Elizabethtown, The restaurants that listed here are Cracker Barrel, Texas Roadhouse, Shoney's in Elizabethtown, and then the town of Boston, Kentucky. Then I visited the Kimbrough Her House in Aberdeen and Ripley in Ohio, the city of Washington Courthouse in Ohio, the city of Columbus and the city of Canton, the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, and then the city of Youngstown, and then the town of Mercer, the city of Franklin, and then the Teodu Overlook, I don't know how to say it, and then the Simpler Time Museum along US 62, the town of Wanda, New York, city of Buffalo, and finally Niagara Falls, both the city and the falls. Thank you all so much for watching Northeastbound US Highway 62. I actually had a lot of fun exploring the different regions that US 62 went through, and for the next couple weeks I'm going to be working on US 62 Southwest, Massachusetts Highway 3, and when we enter into December, our first highway in December is going to be Interstate 635 in Dallas, because the Dallas Cowboys are going to be hosting the Philadelphia Eagles for Sunday Night Football on Week 14 of the NFL. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next one.